Okay, everybody, welcome back to Higher Learning Test Prep's online video tutorial series. We're going to take a look at a hard geometry problem from the SAT today. So this is number 20. It's supposed to be the hardest problem in a given section. They're expecting most people to get this problem wrong. Let's see if we can figure out a good way to answer it correctly. So I always go to the last line first because I want to know what they're asking me about as I process the information above. So what is the perimeter of the shaded region in terms of D? Well, okay, let's figure out what's going on here. We have intersecting circles that are tangent. The centers of the circles lie on a line. The diameter is D. And they want to know, they tell us that the three circles are congruent. They want to know what the perimeter is. Okay, so we got D. And then we got these three smaller diameters that added up equal D. Let's make D a nice even number to divide. I also want the radiuses to be whole numbers as well. So let's make D like 18 so that our small d's will be 6 and our small radii will each be 3. Okay, now we have everything we need. I picked numbers here because dealing with real numbers is always easier than dealing with algebra. So, okay, if we want to know the perimeter of this whole figure, well, we need to know half of the circumference of the large circle, which is circumference equals pi times the diameter, or pi times twice the radius. In this case, we have the diameter, so the circumference equals 18 pi. So half the circumference, which is what we need, will equal 9 pi. Okay, so we just figured out that this distance right here that I'm squiggling along through, this is equal to 9 pi. Now we just got to figure out these three smaller pieces. This would get kind of messy if we were dealing with just D and trying to solve this algebraically. As it is, we've picked numbers here and we know that the diameter of our smaller circles is 6. So if we wanted to do the circumference, maybe like a small c for each little circumference, we would get pi d, which is going to be 6 pi. We know that we're looking for half of that, so half of small c equals 3 pi. And we know that there's 3 of those. So we have this piece, 3 pi right here, that my new squiggly line, 3 pi 3 different times. So we have 9 pi and 3 pi 3 different times, which is simply equal to 18 pi. Now our answer choices obviously haven't taken account for the numbers that we've picked. We picked 18. But look, this is actually pretty easy now. D is 18. We're looking for an answer that says 18 pi where D is 18. Well, that's just answer choice C. Pi times our D value of 18. So pick numbers. You turn the hardest problem that is supposed to be determining who gets into the best Ivy League schools into a really manageable problem by picking good numbers here. Okay, so go on out, use numbers to make the hardest problems on the SAT really easy, get a great score, and tell them you learned it from us.